Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
hello.
Oh, steady on, Dan. Steady
Sorry
on.
about that. I hit the microphone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Propulsion Swimming live stream. Tonight, we are going to be going through the racing that everyone just saw at the European Swimming Championships. Unfortunately, we can't do our watch-alongs like we did before because both me and Dan have work at like 5 o'clock. It's a bit impractical, but we thought we'd
Yep.
still talk about the swimming with you guys at home. This is going to be a lot more informal. Dan, are you okay there with your springs?
It's the microphone. I'm sorry. Carry on. Yeah, I'm set.
So it's going to be a lot more informal, kind of chatting through the races. And basically, we want to hear your thoughts on the swimming too, because we will put it on the live stream. We will let everyone know your thoughts. And yeah, and there was some good racing this evening. We thought Europeans would be very much quite a slow meet, something that's not really a focus for a lot of swimmers. But if I go through the first, 4 events, the 400 IM for the women, we had a world leading time. The 400 free for the men's, we had a world leading time. The 50 free for the women's, we had a world leading time. And then the 50 back, we had a world record. So it's not a slow meet.
It wasn't a bad start, was it? It wasn't a bad start at all. Yeah, we kind of said it in our sort of half preview, if you like, in our Twitter tweets, that we said don't expect the times to be anything like they were at trials, because the British swimmers were very much concentrating on that to qualify for the Olympics. Whereas this one now, the majority of the swimmers have already qualified, so they wouldn't be targeting this. In fact, most of them would probably be training through it, which I think is quite evident. I think if you have a look at especially the women's 100 fly, you saw Harriet Jones was way off the pace. She was two seconds slower than what she did. What was it, like 3 weeks ago now? So she's clearly in a hard block as well. We spoke to PT, obviously, didn't we, last week? And I'm not even sure he wants to. I'm not even sure he wants to be there, quite frankly, because he's in heavy training. His full focus is on Tokyo. He doesn't really want to be in a hotel room for 9 days, because he's got to do the 100 breaststroke today. The final will be tomorrow, and he's got to wait to the very end for the 50 breaststroke and the 4x1 medley as well. So,
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's just doing the 50 to keep himself entertained while he's in that hotel room, because he's part of a squad. He can't fly home a day early and leave the bubble. He can't do that. He has to go home as part of the team. So what we're going to do is we will go through event by event. We're mainly focused on the finals, even though there were some semi-finals, with the obvious bias towards British swimming where applicable. And then we'll preview a little bit of tomorrow's racing, and we'll see if any of you guys have any comments and questions to put to us as well while we're doing it.
Yeah, well, like you said at the very beginning, we want to be quite informal here and literally just have a massive discussion.
Bit of fun.
Tell us your favourite swims, the swims that you're looking forward to, all that sort of stuff. We don't want to be professional today. We just want to have a chat and let's just wing it and see how it goes, really. But let's start with the women's 400 IM. So, of course, we've got to talk about Amy Wilmot, because that was a fantastic swim. What did you make of it?
I was going to say, let's start with the note before this final, that the four fastest swimmers for this 400 IM were all Hungarian. Four of them. And obviously, European swimming rules are that only 2 can qualify for knockout stages, which, like for British swimming, that inhibits the 100 breaststroke because you have great depth there. But 4 swimmers, the fastest in Europe. That's nuts.
Yeah. I don't know if it's kind of like the Hosu impacts, because, of course, PT's having an impact over here with the breaststroke. But that's obviously the thing in Hungary. It's good at the IM side of it. I don't know. Yeah.
So if we start with Hosu, then Now her time was a world leading time, but it didn't, to me, look like the impressive, smooth Hosu that we're used to. It looked like a grind. It looked like she worked hard for that.
Yeah, I said to you, actually, when we were watching it, that it looks like she's pushing it quite hard. I think she's kind of testing herself to see where exactly she is. The fly looks obviously quite ragged. Yeah, the fly looks a bit ragged. The backstroke, even the comms, what's his name, Andy Jameson, was a bit like it's not quite right. It doesn't quite seem fluid just yet, but obviously good enough to be a world leading time, because that's that's the swimmer she is. She's the best in the world at that event, But yeah, maybe a little bit ragged. The breaststroke looked quite smooth and quite comfortable. Maybe she was getting herself into a rhythm by that point. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to be swimming fast now. You want to be swimming fast in how long is it? 60 odd days, however long now. So of course, don't expect times to be fast, but I'd be slightly wary that the technique is a little bit off. Yeah, but yeah, world leading time, which is quite impressive.
It is. Amy Wilmot, though, after trials, I thought, that's a good swim, solid swim. She might make a European final. I was quietly very impressed with that because she kept up with Hosu for a long period of that race. She was on her shoulder basically until the freestyle leg. And we know the British swimmers, they were all in a very hard block of training. They've jumped straight back into it after trials. This is in no sense their target meet. All of them are swimming through. So to get a silver behind Hosu and push her till the freestyle, I think that bodes well for Tokyo, don't you?
I think so. And actually, I was doing the live tweeting and all the results just a minute ago. And I kind of not cheated. I was kind of like preempting what the result was going to be. I said Hosu was going to win. Second. And I actually put Amy Wilmot as going to be second. End up being joint second. So I kind of assumed that she was going to get that silver medal. I was just sort of wondering what time she would go. And I think at trials, what did she do? 4:35, I think it was. And she just did a 4:36. So, basically the same sort of time.
That's pretty good because I'd
be pretty happy with that, seeing as the training that she should be going through now isn't supposed to be easy. No sort of tape or anything like that. It should be quite tough right now. But like you said, she was keeping it with Hosu, and I think Hosu, we've mentioned her before, she's not quite on form at the moment. And
a year or so.
I mean, lockdown hasn't helped, obviously, but I think I'd take a lot of positives out of that swim for Amy Wilmot. I would.
Definitely. One thing to pay attention to is she's racing the 400 free at the end of this week. Now, we don't have any qualifiers yet for that 400 free because Holly Hibbert basically had to swim it by herself at trials. And I don't think Amy Wilmot did it, if I remember correctly. I don't think she did the 400.
Not the 400.
So if she's got this